Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest political scandal in American history is unfolding before our very eyes. Ron Klain, Biden's former chief of staff, has confirmed what we've been saying for years. Joe Biden was never mentally fit to serve as president. They literally called it Operation Bubble Wrap, a systematic effort to shield Biden from stress, limit his public appearances, and hide his deteriorating mental condition from the American people. And according to the Megyn Kelly Show, Biden would literally fall asleep during debate prep. His handlers had to wake him up. They restricted his schedule, limited his interactions, and constructed an elaborate facade of competence around a man who was, in Klain's own words, out of it. This wasn't just spin or public relations. This was a deliberate deception of the American people. So the question that Thomas Hearn asked cuts to the core. Who in the heck was running the country if the president's mental acuity was in question? Well, the answer is chilling. Unelected Democrat operatives were making decisions that affected every American's life. Well, Biden needed Operation Bubble Wrap to hide his cognitive decline. Chuck Norris, 84, is sharper and more energetic than ever. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Biden's handlers had to wake him up during debate prep and shield him from public view, while Chuck Norris is kicking and training and staying more mentally alert than men half his age. Well, what's the secret? Unlike the Biden administration's massive cover-up, Operation Chuck discovered a simple, honest approach to maintaining peak mental and physical performance. He identified 3 factors that sabotage our cognitive health as we age, and he eliminated them. His wife tried the same method, feels a decade younger. No handlers, no bubble wrap, no deception, just real results. So if you want to say mentally sharp and physically capable instead of needing your own Operation Bubble Wrap, visit chuckdefense.com/next. It's linked down below, and we thank Chuck Norris for sponsoring the Next News Network. Let's get into it. So who was really running the country? Biden mentally gone. Now it's all unraveling. And guess who was there on the scene when all this news was breaking today? Our own Tom McCullough outside the White House. Listen.
Hey everybody, it's Tom McCullough, White House correspondent with the Next News Network, reporting from the White House front lawn today. So tonight, 2 powerful clips are raising a question no one in the media wanted to ask during the Biden years. Who was actually running the country? We begin with a brutal takedown of the entire cover-up operation surrounding Joe Biden's mental health during his term. Let's check this out.
And so should his advisors. I mean, talk about a big cover-up. I mean, we've been talking a lot about Donald Trump lately. I just want to ask a simple question. Who in the heck was running the country? If the president's mental acuity was in question and some days he's on and some days he's off, was the guy really capable of doing the job day to day? I honestly really question that. And I think a lot of Democrats who said at the time, oh, Joe Biden is the fittest guy in the world. He could do backflips. He could jump into the pool, run marathons, do 100 push-ups. When every freaking person who saw Joe Biden said, there's no in hell this guy is physically fit. But they told us, don't believe your lying eyes because we're with him every single day. It wasn't true.
One more piece,
it wasn't true.
Just so people understand it.
So that wasn't just speculation. That was a direct challenge to the lie we were all sold, that Joe Biden was fit, sharp, and fully in control. Democrats told us that he could run marathons. The media told us he was more energetic than ever. And yet the American people saw the truth. Every stumble, every slurred sentence, every blank stare, we watched it in real time. But they told us to ignore our eyes. That's not politics, that's gaslighting. And here's the kicker. It wasn't just voters noticing. Insiders inside the White House are now writing tell-alls. They're admitting Biden was mentally shot from day one. As one viral tweet put it, everything but the Republican Party was saying about that Biden was 100% accurate and true. The inner circle writing tell-alls about Biden being mentally shot from day one. Democrat operatives were running the country. Now, we already knew that, but here's a reminder of just how checked out Joe Biden really was. If you thought the cover-up was bad, watch this and tell me if this man was ever fit to lead. He's going to do the stare. Check it out.
And I sold a lot of state secrets and a lot of very important things that we shared.
So that was the President of the United States on camera saying he sold state secrets. Whether it was a joke or not, it shows you everything you need to know. The man was not in charge. He wasn't capable of leading, and the people who were supposed to serve the country, they were busy running interference while unelected Democrat operatives pulled the strings behind the curtain. Ever see Wizard of Oz? And now the truth is spilling out. President Trump warned this would happen. He said that Biden was just a puppet, and now that Trump's back in office, that's truth that is finally being confirmed, not just by Republicans, but by the very people who worked in the West Wing under Joe Biden. This wasn't just incompetence. This was a national security risk, a fraud on the American people, and every corrupt insider who propped up that charade is going to be exposed. And I'm standing right next to where the West Wing is. I'm going to just pan the camera off. So literally behind those doors right there is where Joe Biden lied to the American people. And in the other side where you just saw me, where the press room was, that is exactly where the media spun the lies to feed the American people garbage to try to prop up their fake puppet of a leader. Again, I'm Tom McCullough, White House Next News Network correspondent. God bless you.
You know, it blows my mind when we think about exactly like the reality of where Tom is standing. Like, that is where all the lies and the fabrication, the misdirection, the gaslighting all occurred. And now we're there, we're on site, and we're correcting the narrative, we're exposing it all. Oh my God, thank God Donald Trump won. So we've got more. Okay. What about the Guardian article about your diaper-wearing Joey Biden? Ron Klain's upcoming book tells the backstory of the hiding of Biden's mental condition and how they hid it so he wasn't actually president, and the balls you have to talk about security concerns. Yeah, they're talking. Whoever this Joe person is, Joe from Jers, the guy bankrupted a casino. Okay, yeah, they're trying to trash Donald Trump while still running cover for their own puppet in chief. Here is. We also have this. Check this out. Did you hear about this? New York City Mayor Eric Adams officially leaving the Democrat Party today. Wow, yeah, another walk away right there. Leaving the Democrat Party. Welcome home. Liberals are furious with the New York City Mayor Eric Adams after he told Andrew Schultz that Trump derangement syndrome, or TDS, is real. Wow.
Yeah. And the thing is, I keep saying this, and people don't like it. They get upset. You know, the Trump derangement syndrome is real.
Yeah.
You can hate someone so much that even if they do something
You're
right,
blind to it.
right.
Yeah.
You know that? And you can like or dislike Elon, but you don't have any right blowing up someone's Tesla.
Right. Exactly.
You don't have any
breaking the law.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, who do
Simple
you
as
think
that.
you are?
Yeah.
You know, you don't have any right going in and destroying.
They drew a dick on his Tesla.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, by the way.
Yeah,
That was,
you understand
I
what I'm
shouldn't have
saying?
did
A
that.
white dick too, small.
Yeah. Small white dick.
But think about that.
Now, to be fair,
They should get 40 years.
but yeah, so that does
But
happen.
that's
Yeah.
the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
When you say, okay, I'm upset that you are doing Doge and you're closing down jobs, but you know what? You should close down Tesla. What about those people that work there?
Dude, I literally said that I was on this guy's podcast, and I was like, listen, I totally understand you, Theo Vaughn's podcast, and I was like, I totally understand that, like, you people who are critical of Elon, there's reasons to be critical. Everybody should have the freedom to be critical, right?
Right.
And I go, but hoping that Tesla shuts down.
Right.
Like, I understand you're upset that people lost jobs. It doesn't improve the situation if you make more people lose jobs.
Right.
It is
He's
an
the
American
richest
car
guy.
company.
Right.
Yeah, he's the richest guy in the world. He's not. He's going to be okay.
Right.
He's not the one hurt.
Right.
The people
Right.
that work there. So you're upset these people lost jobs. You're like, I know the solution. More people lose jobs.
Think about it. And the thing.
Yeah, and that's how Trump derangement syndrome works. Elon derangement syndrome. Okay, here's more. Barry Fitzgerald, the truth about the Biden administration has finally revealed everything that the Republican Party was saying about Biden, 100% accurate and true. The inner circle writing tell-alls about Biden being mentally shot from day one. Democrat operatives were running the country. And who is this? Fires are chauvinist now? What's this? Oh, Mancow Mueller, 7 hours ago?
Forgive me if I get emotional. I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately impacts women and girls. And I am wildly emotional. I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral.
Oh, that was the greatest clip. That was the greatest clip in the history of clips ever made on the internet. Thank you, Mancow, for playing that.
I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral.
Climate emergencies are not gender neutral. Oh, man. Here we go. Here's the ex-Biden advisor, Ron Klain. Now says Biden was out of it prior to debating Trump. It is all coming out now, folks. Oh, wow.
It is absolutely sharp fit on and was suffering from a cold that really constrained his voice and constrained his ability to be forceful in the debate. And he was trying not to lose his voice, it was very scratchy and very impacted by his cold. But the president is absolutely sharp, fit on top of his game.
What did you advise him to do?
You know, I had hoped he would stay in it, Ari. I thought that he, as he said in that remarks, I thought his record and his vision merited another term. And, we've been on the Biden roller coaster up and down. He had lost in Iowa, lost in New Hampshire in 2020, went on to win the nomination, win the presidency. We've been in ups and downs in this presidency. So I thought this was another turn on the roller coaster. We should fight through it. And was suffering from a cold that really constrained it.
Oh, man. Let's keep going. There's Ron Klain right there. Megyn Kelly Show. It was literally called Operation Bubble Wrap to protect him from having meetings with anybody. We, the fifth, on the new book revealing how Biden fell asleep during debate prep. Oh, my. Here we go.
The new book, we have to start with Biden because this was not going to be our lead today, but this Guardian article is so juicy, we got to do it. So the Guardian got his hands on this new book. It just hit, shortly before we came out. And the new book takes a deep dive into what Joe Biden was like prior to his debate disaster and then thereafter. The name of the book, Uncharted by some guy named Whipple, last name Whipple, Chris Whipple. He's a reporter. Okay, so Ron Klain is no underling. He's not like some no-name staffer. He was the chief of staff from 2021 to 2023 and then returned last June, again, not even a year ago, to run debate prep. So very clearly on the innermost Biden circle and somebody who they trusted. And I'll just give you the third paragraph of the Guardian piece. According to Klain, as reported by this book, Uncharted, it turned out Biden, quote, did not know what Trump had been saying and could not grasp what the back and forth was, left preparation for the debate and fell asleep instead by the pool, obsessed about foreign leaders, saying, quote, these guys say I'm doing a great job as president, so I must be a great president, end quote, has the ring of truth, quote, didn't really understand what his argument even was on inflation and had nothing to say about a second term other than finish the job and get off my damn lawn. Those two things were, no, I added the second one. And there's so many other juicy quotes in here. We'll go through it. But can I just get your initial reaction to Ron Klain laying it all out there, or at least most of it out there, to this reporter for his book? Anyone?
Ron Klain is one of the biggest modern villains in American politics, and this just underscores his absolute duplicity. He was described in a lot of reporting. Wall Street Journal was probably the best on this before it was popular to talk about Biden's, not just his cognitive decline, but the shrink wrap, the bubble wrap, Operation Bubble Wrap, it was literally called, to protect him from, having meetings with anybody. Ron Klain was the lead of that. He was described as having more power as a chief of staff than just about any modern chief of staff. He would run interference anytime someone dared suggest that Biden had any cognitive problems. And he was still saying this in August last year. He was complaining that they've been forced out Biden in August of last year and saying that.
Okay. It's all coming out, folks. We called it from, even before he became president. But now everyone is throwing him under the bus. And we got a little bit more from this. I'm going to cue it up for you right here.
You did a great job.
Yes.
I can't wait to read your book. Okay, here's more. As described by Klain to Chris Whipple, at one point, again, I'm quoting it from the Guardian piece, at one point, Biden had an idea. If he looked perplexed when Trump talked, voters would understand that Trump was an idiot. Klain allegedly replied to Joe Biden, sir, when you look perplexed, people just think you're perplexed. And this is our problem in this race. Now, who knows whether that's true? I've got questions whether he really said that to Joe Biden. Okay, there's more. Okay. The Whipple told Politico last week in an interview about his book, I happen to think that to call it a cover-up is simplistic. I think it was stranger and way more troubling than that. Biden's inner circle, his closest advisors, many of them, were in the fog of delusion and denial. They believed what they wanted to believe. They go on to talk about how even after the disastrous debate, according to Klain, to Whipple, Klain believed Biden should stay in the race, and then after he quit, that he should have stayed in the race. And they talk about, okay, this is the juicy part, the prep for the debate. At his first meeting with Biden in Aspen Lodge, the president's cabin, according to Whipple, Klain was startled. He had never seen him so exhausted and out of it. Biden was unaware of what was happening in his own campaign. Unaware. Halfway through the session, the president excused himself and went off to sit by the pool.
10 goals.
That evening, Biden met again with Klain and his team. Biden aides Mike Donilon, Steve Ricchetti, and Bruce Reed. We sat around the table, said Klain. Biden had answers on cards, and he was just extremely exhausted. And I was struck by how out of touch with American politics he was. So out of touch with American politics, the sitting president of the United States.
Sitting president of the United States, absolutely clueless about American politics. I mean, talk about a rudderless ship, zero leadership, a deep state swamp steering an empty vessel. I mean, do you realize how close we were to complete disaster in this country? President Trump is riding this ship of state faster than we can even see. We dodged a freaking bullet. I mean, and Trump literally dodged a bullet. Holy cow, man. I mean, we knew it was bad. We knew it was bad. Holy cow. You know, we could keep going on about this. But the fact is that we have a lot to be thankful for right now. So much to be thankful for in this country. People like Mayor Eric Adams seeing the light, joining the Republican Party. People, because like real common sense Democrats, they knew what was happening and they jumped ship. The Democrat Party has gone so far off the reservation that you've got orange-haired freaks keying bulletproof cars with cameras because they're pissed off because their Soros-funded operations are getting defunded. This is only the beginning. And I'm not surprised that books like this are coming out because everyone's trying to cover their ass. Because they don't want to be the next one that's going to be, on the chopping block when Pam Bondi finally starts forcing these people to do the perp walk. And I really hope that they do, because arrests need to be made. Okay, so this cover-up was ongoing. Biden caught on a hot mic admitting that he sold a lot of state secrets and very important things. Let that sink in. It's not just incompetence, it's potentially treason. And everyone around him knew exactly what was happening. Meanwhile, the Democrat Party implodes under the weight of these revelations. New York City Mayor Eric Adams left the party entirely confirming Trump derangement syndrome is real, a psychological condition that blinds people to reality and forces them to increasingly deranged positions just to oppose Trump. So here's the brutal truth. America was subjected to a puppet presidency. Biden was the figurehead, but anonymous handlers were pulling the strings. So ask yourself, was this even constitutional? Was it even legal? And how many people must be held accountable for this massive fraud on the American people? Drop names below. Show your patriotism with Next News Network swag at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com and show the world you stand with real news.